Hello, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to see another very powerful instrument in Excel, which is the pivot table. The pivot table is very simple to use once you have understood the logic behind it, and can be pretty useful and make your life easier in some situation. Instead of using complex formulas, you can just create a pivot table to obtain the information that you are looking for. So here, as you can see, we have the same file that we are using in the channel, so the sales orders data file. And what we are going to do today is trying to create a useful pivot table. So first of all, in order to create a pivot table, we need to select our range, and then we can go to insert as a page, and here you can see that we have tables on the top left, and then pivot table. As you can see, is asking Excel to select a table or range, which is basically the area of data we are taking to create our pivot table. So we can just select our table just to be sure that we have all the data that we need, press enter, and then is asking also, do you want to create this pivot table in the same sheet or in a new worksheet? So in that case, we create it in an existing worksheet, and we go in our pivot table worksheet, we put it in A1 to start, and then we can just create our pivot table. So at the beginning, as you can see, the pivot table is blank, there's nothing, but we can populate it very easily. So first of all, here we have pivot table fields on the right, and this tool is pretty powerful because here, as you can see, we can change the view. The first one is, I would say, the best one to just select the information that we want to show in our pivot table. Then if we have different columns, can be better to use this view to rearrange the information as a filter, as column, as rows, or as values. So first of all, let's decide which information we want. Let's say that, for example, we want just the responsible and the total. Okay, so we select the responsible in the rows, and then we want to know the total in terms of values for each responsible. We just put it as a sum here in values, and by clicking on the field, we can go to value field settings and change the format of the value. So for example, we can put an accounting value, and in this way we change how we are going to show the metric in the pivot table. We can move the pivot table in our worksheet, and then, as you can see, we have a different view respect to the one that we have here, because basically with just in less than a minute we have created a table that is showing pretty easily the total for each responsible. Basically, if I wanted to create the same view using formula, it would have been for sure more difficult. So that's why the pivot table can be very useful and very simple to use. So now we have seen what we can create. We can also, for example, introduce filters in our pivot table. For example, we can filter all the information that we are showing in the pivot table by the region, and here, for example, let's say that I want to see just the central region. In this way I see just the responsible with the information in this region, central. Okay, I can also add information in terms of columns. So for example, let's say that I want to say in the column the item, okay, I can also put it in the column this distinction, and you see that basically is becoming pretty powerful as an instrument and as a tool to use. Another thing that I want to show you about the pivot table is this section, pivot table analyze. As you can see here, you can, for example, change the data source. So let's say that, for example, we have a new data set that we want to use. We can just go there and change basically the area of data from where we are extracting the information. We can also in the pivot analyze refresh. In the case, for example, we update the information in this dataset, we can just refresh the pivot table by clicking this command. And then another powerful section is the design section. Here, as you can see, we can rearrange how we are showing the pivot table. We can change the color, for example. We can change what we are seeing, the column headers, for example, if you want them or not. We can also change the layout and decide if we want, for example, to repeat all item labels. And usually the best form to show a pivot table is showing a tabular form. So that's a general rule. When you create a pivot table, usually you have to select a tabular form if you want a better view of the pivot table. As you can see here, we can also decide if we want grand totals for rows over columns, as well as the subtotals. And that's it about the pivot table. So you can start on your own to try to use it, and you will understand how it can be useful in your day-to-day activity. I hope this video was useful, and I'll see you in the next video.